Howdy, folks. I'm Billy the Bubblegum Bison.
I'm Amber.
And here's some bubblicious bubbles. Alright, folks. This is going to be a shorter episode because we have the live stream later today. So if you want more information on that, see the end of the episode. Our first letter is titled, Will I Be a Jerk for Thinking It's Weird Thing for My Landlord to Ask Me to Take Care of His Kids? I'm a 25-year-old female, and I live in a large city and stay in a family's basement for over $1,300 a month. They have been nice, but we don't really talk at all, which is fine by me. I moved in around February, and I mostly keep to myself, and I just go to work. My landlord, a 50-year-old male, told me that they would be leaving to go out of the country because his parents were in critical condition. He took his entire family with him, which was his wife and his kids. They asked me to look out for packages and stuff like that while they're gone, which is not a big deal, so I said okay, and to have a safe flight, etc. Well, a week later, today, he texts me and says that his kids would be coming back, but not him, in about a week from now. He asked me to take care of his kids and take them to school until he gets back. I don't know when exactly that will be. The reason that I think that I might be the jerk is because I think that it's a ridiculous request to ask a tenant that is just living here, and I don't know if they will have any other family here. But I also know we live in a high cost of living area, and this house is probably worth more than I could ever afford, so I don't see why it's my responsibility to take care of my landlord's children. He could probably pay for a rideshare service or something else. For reference, the kids are at least 17. My mom says that I'm a jerk for not being helpful, and that it's selfish. I have a job that I can work from home and maybe have time to take them if I start about an hour after I would normally take them to school. I haven't called him about it yet because I feel bad, but like I said, I have a full-time job and I live in a big city. If I want to go into the office or am required for anything, I had already made plans to go into the office next week for something that I have to do, for example. I don't have time to take them because it takes over an hour to get there. I genuinely think that this is a ridiculous thing to ask a random tenant to do without any consideration of my job or my life. He just said that I won't be coming back and I need you to take my kids to school for an undisclosed amount of time. Granted, I have not called him yet to hear more, and the circumstances are out of his control, so I don't know if I'm the jerk here and should take his kids to school. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I mean, this is not typical landlord-tenant behavior. This is, I'm assuming, not in your lease, a requirement that you take care of his kids, so you're under no obligation to do it.
I could understand if him contacting you or calling you and being like, hey, you know, while you're at home, I'm sending my kids back. Would it be any trouble for you to bring them to school for me? And kind of leave it in OP's court at that point in time.
Or if he was willing to, like, waive her rent and be like, or reduce it, you know, if you can take my kids to school for me for some amount of time, I'll reduce your rent by, you know, however much per time you take them.
Yeah, I think some of the complicating factor here is that OP is employed, they have their own job, and this is kind of interfering with that to some degree. And again, he also is having trouble with his life, and there are some circumstances that are outside of his control, and I can certainly understand why he would want to rely on OP. So yeah, I mean, this is just kind of some random person, so I do understand why OP would be a little sketched out by this. And the kids are 17. 17's old enough to make sure they get to school for a short period of time.
Yeah, do they not have buses or something the kids could take? Like, it just seems, if OP has to go well, I guess it's an hour out of the way, so if OP has to go an hour out of the way to get the kids to school, like, that's a pretty big inconvenience. And
it is, yeah.
That's why I think it goes beyond, like, this isn't someone who they have, like, a deep relationship who you could call upon for a favor because, you know, you'll do something nice for each other in turn. This is someone who is taking your money every month and giving you housing in exchange.
Yeah. My big concern is that there could be some level of reprisal here, so...
There could be, and that's always tricky, but...
And if the landlord decides that they are no longer happy with OP being a tenant over this, then OP may lose their rent, or he may increase their rates, or any number of things, which is a really bad position to be put in. So I don't envy OP's position, but I think it really depends on whether they think that he will attempt to raise rent or have some kind of recourse because they refuse. So that's also a consideration.
Well, and I think, I mean, OP does have a full-time job, so if OP does refuse this, I think just stating that, I'm sorry, but this conflicts with my working hours, I'm going to be in the office, like, because they may know that she works from home a lot, so, like, I'm going to be in the office next week, or, you know, something like that.
That probably could be a pretty good excuse. Or even just be like, oh, I'm going on a business trip, and then go on a business trip. Sorry. But let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she's got an oh so funny joke for us.
What kind of shoes do frogs wear?
Well, I know for a fact that frogs wear Timbs.
Open-toed shoes.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that checks out. And I have Earl Grey. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Do not forget, we have a live stream later today at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Alright, so I did just look it up. It is 10 o'clock p.m. UTC, so I'll probably put a little notice out on this video if I remember. And yeah, hopefully there's not too much confusion. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Later today.
Or later today, yes.
Bye.